The only bad Star Wars movie is a boring Star Wars movie. And congratulations, Phantom Menace. You are no longer the most boring Star Wars movie out there. I am the Kaiju no Kami, and this is my Quickie review of Solo. Should have really been called So Slow. Solo is the prequel to everything the original trilogy stood for. It is the prequel to Rogue One. It takes place, well, obviously, because of things that happen, it has to be before certain events in Rebels, but after certain events in Rebels. So I don't know exactly how the timeline works, but it's set somewhere in between seasons 2 and season 3 of Rebels, I'd say, right along there. It stars Han Solo with how he met Chewbacca and how he met Lando and how he obtained the Millennium Falcon. Remember how in then A New Hope that he says to Obi-Wan, "You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? The ship that ran the Castle Run in 12 parsecs?" And he's acting all surprised, and Obi-Wan says, "No, should I have?" Clearly not, because there was nothing at all remotely interesting about the event that occurred. It was such a by-the-book movie. Everything, actually, I take that back. This movie had no idea what it wanted to be, so it couldn't be by the book, because even the book was like, did we get some pages reversed because this doesn't fit with this and what's going on here? For as bad as The Phantom Menace is, you at least have a payoff in the end. You've got that great fight scene between Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan that really helps at least make the movie where it was worth sitting through all the boring crap. This one, the payoff is non-existent. It pretty much is just like, well, we have to have Han Solo get this, so this is how it happens. We have to do that, and it's just not the least bit interesting. I am amazed that Han Solo is such a boring character. Granted, I walked into this movie with low expectations, but I was kind of hoping when they talked about, oh, we're going to do this heist, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a heist movie. This is going to be really good. I was wrong. This train sequence is actually starting out kind of cool. There's this cool train, and then when the train got derailed, the whole movie pretty much got derailed. It's just a mess of a film. You can tell that there were too many cooks in the kitchen, too many directors. It's actually, I'm going to say it, it's this year's Justice League. It's a snooze fest. If you didn't like Justice League, this movie's the exact same way. If you did like Justice League, okay, cool. Maybe you'll like this movie. Yeah, you heard me right. As I just said, this is the Star Wars equivalent to Justice League. Now, that's not to say that there weren't some cool scenes in there, as there were occasionally one cool scene. There was a cool droid that I found funny, but again, the problem in this movie is a lot of the comedy felt forced. Like, there's some comedy stuff going on that just comes out of nowhere halfway through the movie that just didn't fit. It was like, where did that come from? Why is that like that? This is way too silly for the rest of the tone of the movie. Jude Law, or was it Paul Bettany? I always get those two mixed up for some reason. His character was pretty lackluster. Woody Harrelson this was probably the worst role I've ever seen Woody Harrelson in. He was he was boring. When you make Woody Harrelson boring and unmemorable, there's a problem. Overall, I'm going to give Solo an average 4 out of 10. And that's probably because there were cool ideas that were mixed in there. I will admit there were a couple scenes where this actor who played Han Solo did feel like he was embodying Han Solo, but a lot of other times he felt like he was just forcing himself to be Han Solo. I didn't feel that it was Han Solo at all times. Danny Glover, on the other hand, great. I actually envisioned that was Lando Calrissian. He did a great job. He was by far the saving grace of this film. But mostly, you're going to forget about this movie after a couple days. It's the first Star Wars movie I have absolutely no desire to ever watch again. So if you were on the fence about it, skip it. If you're a Star Wars nut who needs to see it, I await to see your complaints. Oh. And the most boring Star Wars soundtrack to date. The most exciting parts of the music were the reused John Williams themes. Until next time, bye.